Do you know that the words you spoke this morning are already deciding your money tomorrow? Do you realize that every casual thought, every hidden doubt, every careless complaint is writing your financial destiny in unseen ink? This is the law at work. It does not sleep, it does not pause, it responds, it shapes, it manifests. Florence Scovel Shinn taught that life is not chance but law. You are either aligned with the law of increase or chained to the law of loss. There is no middle ground. Every word you release, every thought you entertain, is an architect designing your future. The question is not whether the law is working. The question is whether you are feeding poverty or summoning divine wealth. Picture your life as a sacred scale. On one side lies the weight of fear, doubt, and limitation. On the other side rests faith, expectancy, and abundance. The law does not choose which side receives its power. You do. With every word you speak, you place weight upon the scale. With every inner dialogue you allow, you tilt your destiny. Which side are you feeding today? Most people live unaware of this scale. They wake up speaking lack. They say, I can't afford that, or money never stays with me. They believe these are harmless phrases, but the universe hears them as commands. These words are laws signed in spirit, and they must be carried out. A man may work tirelessly, yet if his tongue sows poverty, his harvest cannot yield wealth. You must confront this truth now, not tomorrow, not when you feel ready, now, because your money is not controlled by banks, bosses, or governments. Your money is governed by law divine, invisible, unwavering. This is the moment of decision. Will you continue letting your fears script your destiny, or will you step into the authority already given to you by Spirit? Breathe this in. You are not a victim of circumstance. You are a commander of law. Every time you speak, you legislate in the invisible courts of heaven. Every time you think, you plant seeds in the soil of tomorrow. And if you would rise into divine wealth, you must begin speaking as wealth, thinking as wealth, choosing as wealth. Say it with me now. I choose the law of wealth. I refuse the law of poverty. Speak it again until it vibrates through your bones. I choose the law of wealth. I refuse the law of poverty. This is not empty affirmation. This is alignment. This is your soul declaring its rightful inheritance. The divine orchestra of your life has been waiting for your cue. The instruments of opportunity, favor, and provision are silent until the conductor lifts their hand, and you are that conductor. Your word is the baton. Your belief is the rhythm. When you command in faith, the music begins, and doors open that logic could never predict. But hear me clearly. To remain silent is to choose by default. To keep speaking fear is to hand your wealth to the law of poverty. To delay is to decide. There is no neutrality in spiritual law. The law is impartial, exact, and faithful to the seeds you plant. What you resist will persist. What you declare will manifest. Think of your inner temple. Every morning you walk into it, whether you know it or not. Some enter and speak curses over themselves. This day will be hard. Money is tight. I am unlucky. And the walls of their temple echo those words back into their future. But you today, you are called to cleanse your temple. You are called to walk in and say, this is the day wealth finds me. This is the day divine supply flows to me. This is the day I refuse the lie of lack. This is not about positive thinking. This is about spiritual law. A farmer does not wonder if seeds will grow. He knows the law of the harvest is absolute. In the same way, you must know that every declaration you make in faith must bring forth after its kind. Speak poverty and reap poverty. Speak wealth and reap wealth. The choice is in your mouth. And so I ask you again, with the weight of eternity pressing gently on your shoulders, which side of the scale will you feed today? Will you cast your words into the pit of fear, or will you crown your destiny with declarations of wealth? This is not just about money. It is about freedom, dignity, and your divine right to live without chains. Take this moment as sacred. Place your hand upon your heart and whisper, I choose wealth. I choose faith. I choose alignment. Let it sink in. Let your subconscious feel it. For today marks the dividing line. The you who lived in ignorance is gone. A new you rises now aware, commanding, unshakable. The law has already begun to shift in your favor. The scale begins to tilt. The invisible gates of supply begin to open. And as you breathe, as you speak, as you choose, your money is being decided not by chance, but by law. This is the awakening call. This is the moment of decision. And now, with the foundation laid, we step deeper into the first law that determines your wealth and your freedom. Law 1, the law of the spoken word. Do you realize the invisible power that rests on your tongue? The words you speak are not harmless air passing through your lips, they are forces, they are blueprints, they are commands written in fire upon the tablets of your subconscious and echoed into the divine law that governs this universe. Your mouth is not casual, it is sacred. It is the pen of the architect designing the very house you must live in tomorrow. Every syllable you release is a seed cast into the invisible garden of your life. Some seeds bloom into abundance, some harden into weeds of poverty, some open the gates of health, love, and opportunity. Others thicken the chains of fear, lack, and despair. The earth of your subconscious accepts them all without question. It does not argue, it does not edit, it simply receives and multiplies. So I ask you, what have you been planting? The law of the spoken word is not a suggestion. It is not a philosophy to admire. It is a law, as fixed as gravity, as exact as the rising sun. Florence Scovel Shinn declared it with piercing clarity. Your word is your wand. What you decree, you summon. What you affirm, you build. And what you carelessly repeat, you must endure until it is uprooted and replaced with truth. Words of lack create chains. Words of wealth create keys. Every complaint about money is a brick sealing the door of your own prosperity. Every declaration of plenty is a hammer striking the lock until it bursts open. See yourself now before the mirror of your soul. Each word you speak sends ripples across the waters of destiny. Complain, and the ripples carry mud. Command, and they shimmer with gold. The choice is not distant, it is immediate. With every sentence, you are either enslaving or liberating your future. The mouth is the divine architect's pen. Every time you open it, you are sketching the structure of your life. Speak in fear, and you design walls that trap you. Speak in faith, and you draft doors that swing open toward opportunity. No architect blames the house for the lines he drew. So why do you curse the life you live while continuing to draw it with the ink of doubt? Let me give you the daily practice that shifts the axis of your reality. Each morning, before the world speaks to you, stand before your reflection, look into your own eyes, for they are the windows of your soul, and say with authority, I command money to obey divine order in my life. Do not whisper it as a wish, declare it as a decree. Feel the vibration, strike your own being like a bell. Let the sound reverberate into your bones until you know it is done. This is no empty ritual, it is divine law in action. The spoken word enters the subconscious as an order. The subconscious, like a faithful servant, obeys without hesitation. It begins to rearrange perception, magnetize opportunities, and draw forth situations that match the command. The invisible responds, the outer follows, the decree becomes flesh. Now, hear this warning with love. When you speak lack, when you murmur about bills, when you repeat stories of not enough, you are not venting, you are voting. You are voting for poverty to remain the ruler of your life, and the law is impartial. It cannot cancel your words for you. Only you can change the decree. So when the temptation comes and it will to say, I can't afford this, stop in that very moment. Choose substitution. Replace it with, I am guided to divine supply. When the urge rises to sigh, money never stays with me. Correct it instantly with, money flows through me in perfect rhythm. Each substitution is a rescue. Each new word is a rope, pulling you out of the pit you once dug with your own tongue. Visualize this with me. A man stands before the mirror. From his lips fall words of fear, and they tumble into the air like dark smoke, forming heavy doors that close before him. Then he pauses. He remembers the law. He speaks again, this time a decree of abundance. The words shift into golden light, weaving themselves into keys. The doors dissolve into radiant openings. This is not fantasy. This is metaphysics. This is what happens every time you speak. The law of the spoken word is the law of alignment. It aligns the inner with the outer, the thought with the form, the prayer with its answer. Every prophet, every teacher of wisdom has known this truth. Life and death are in the power of the tongue. You either breathe life into your destiny or strangle it with your own complaints. Let us seal this teaching with a brief prayer of command. Close your eyes, breathe deeply, and let these words become your own infinite spirit. Guard my tongue. Let my words be arrows of truth, planting only the harvest of wealth, health, and joy. I decree divine supply flows now. I decree doors of opportunity open now. I decree my spoken word is law, and so it is. Now open your eyes, feel the shift, for in this moment, you have already changed your tomorrow. You have set in motion a law that cannot return void. From this day forward, become a guardian of your mouth. Treat each word as sacred currency. Do not spend it on what you do not want. Invest it in wealth, in peace, in freedom. Let every declaration be an architect's line drawing a palace of prosperity. This is the first law, the law of the spoken word, and until you master it, no other law can fully work in your favor. But when you do, when your tongue becomes a wand of command, you will watch doors swing open where walls once stood. And now, having unlocked the truth of words, let us step deeper, for there is another law, an unseen rhythm that governs the movement of all things, the law of non-resistance. To know it is to stop fighting shadows and start flowing with the divine current of wealth. Law 2, the law of substitution. The second law is the law of substitution. This law is simple, but it carries the weight of destiny. The mind is like a vessel, and it cannot hold two opposing realities at once. You cannot grip fear and faith. At the same time, you cannot dwell in poverty and expect to walk in wealth. One will always push the other out. One must take the throne of your attention while the other dissolves into shadow. Think of it this way. Darkness has no substance. You cannot scoop it out. You cannot fight it with your hands. You cannot curse it into leaving. The only way to dissolve darkness is to bring in light. The smallest flame drives away the vastest night. So it is with your thoughts. You cannot fight fear. You cannot wrestle lack. You cannot argue with despair. The only way to dissolve them is substitution. Replace the image of lack with the vision of plenty. Replace the cry of fear with the declaration of abundance. Replace the shadow with light. The moment you notice a thought of lack, I never have enough. Money always slips away. I am cursed with struggle. Pause. Do not resist. Do not condemn yourself. Simply substitute. Say with authority. Every need is already met by divine supply. Say it until the vibration in your body shifts. Say it until your inner climate warms with possibility. Say it until your nervous system accepts the truth that has been buried under lies. This law is the soul's compass. It takes your mind from wandering in the desert of scarcity to stepping into the green fields of provision. Every time you substitute, you are turning your inner ship toward the harbor of wealth. The wind obeys the sails you set. Here is your practice. Each evening, write down your recurring poor thoughts. Be honest. Let the page hold the confessions of your inner chatter. Then, beside each one, write its substitution. I can never catch up becomes I am always in divine timing. Money comes hard becomes wealth flows to me with ease. I'm always behind becomes I walk in step with God's perfect order. People like me never get rich becomes I am the exception because God is my source. Then, in the morning, stand before the mirror. Look into your own eyes as if gazing into eternity. Speak only the substitutions. Let your words cut through the air like golden fire. Let the new pattern be engraved into your subconscious, for your subconscious does not argue. It accepts what is spoken with conviction. Every word is a command, every declaration, a seed. Close your eyes with me now. Imagine the dark room of your mind filled with worries, doubts, and fears. Now see a single candle lit at the center. Watch the shadows vanish without protest, without fight. The candle does not struggle, it simply shines. That is the law of substitution. Your words are that candle, your vision is that flame. You have spent years rehearsing the words of lack, and those rehearsals became your life, but the script can be rewritten today. The law of substitution hands you the pen. When the old thought rises, you need not resist it, you need only replace it. To resist is to energize, to substitute is to liberate. Say to yourself now, I replace every thought of lack with a thought of abundance. I replace every shadow with light. I replace every fear with faith. Let these words not just be spoken but felt. Let them echo through the chambers of your soul until your body softens, until your heart believes, until the gates of your imagination swing open. Do you feel the shift, that gentle whisper of release? That is the power of substitution. The more you practice, the faster the shift. At first it may feel like a battle, but soon, the substitutions will flow naturally, as if your inner language has changed forever. The old thoughts will try to return, but they will find no room, for your mind will be filled with the light you chose to carry. Remember this truth. You cannot stop a bird from flying over your head, but you can stop it from building a nest in your hair. Thoughts may appear, but they do not have to stay. Substitution prevents the nest from forming. Substitution keeps your mental skies clear for the divine to speak. So today, I invite you to live this law. Write, speak, substitute, and each time you do, you are rewriting your destiny. You are no longer a prisoner of your first thought. You are the architect who chooses which thought becomes your reality. And as this law becomes alive in you, notice the doors that begin to open, the opportunities you once overlooked, the wealth that once seemed far now walking toward you. Because your inner garden has been cleared, and in its place, you planted new seeds, seeds of plenty, seeds of divine order, seeds of unshakable wealth. This is not wishful thinking. This is divine law. The universe mirrors what you hold within. If you substitute poverty with wealth in your consciousness, wealth will substitute poverty in your experience. That is the power you carry. That is the gift of this law. Let us continue, because the journey does not end here. If the law of substitution shows us how to replace shadows with light, the next law reveals how to walk with the rhythm of divine timing, where every substituted thought finds its perfect season to bloom. Law 3. The law of divine timing. There is a law more powerful than deadlines, more certain than calendars, more exact than the ticking of any human-made clock. It is the law of divine timing. This law whispers to every soul that nothing you need, no door that must open, no provision that is ordained for you, will ever arrive too late, and it will never arrive too soon. It comes at the very moment destiny requires it. Poverty energy cries out, I need it now. If it does not happen this instant, I will be lost. Poverty panics, poverty claws at time, trying to bend it to its will, but wealth consciousness moves differently. Wealth consciousness is unhurried, for it knows the rhythm of divine order. It does not beg, it does not chase, it declares with peace, it comes right on time. There is a divine clock in the heavens, a clock not wound by human hands, yet its rhythm is flawless. Every tick aligns with your highest path. Every talk moves in harmony with the unseen orchestra of your becoming. You cannot rush it, you cannot delay it, and when you finally learn to trust it, peace floods your being like a river that has broken through its dam. Think of the seasons. The apple tree does not bloom in the heart of winter. The rose does not push its petals before the sun has kissed the earth with spring. Creation trusts timing because creation knows timing is law. Only the anxious heart demands the fruit before the blossom, the harvest before the seed has rooted. And it is this very anxiety that suffocates abundance. Florence Scovel Shinn taught that impatience is poverty disguised. She said that to hurry life is to mistrust God, and this is where the shift begins. The one who walks by trust never fears delays, because delays do not exist in divine order. What seems delayed to the human mind is preparation to the divine mind. Every moment is calibration, not postponement. Every seeming pause is positioning you, aligning you, strengthening your roots, so that when the fruit arrives, you are able to carry it. Now, breathe with me, close your eyes, if you are able, and imagine a grand hallway stretching before you. Along its length are doors, golden and glowing, each marked with an opportunity, each labeled with a provision. You may rush to pull at every handle, only to find them locked. Or you may stand in calm surrender, feeling the warmth of trust, and then at the exact step, at the precise moment, you watch as the next door opens on its own, as if the universe itself has turned the key. This is divine timing. So many live in torment because they force open doors not meant for them yet, exhausting themselves with impatience. They invest energy in what is not ripe, only to reap bitterness. But the one who trusts divine order lives differently. They walk with grace. They do not waste their breath on when will it come. They speak only this: I walk in step with divine supply, and money comes right on time. Say it aloud with me. Let it sink into your bones. I walk in step with divine supply, and money comes right on time. There is no need to chase. Chasing is the language of lack. Waiting in fear is the vibration of delay. But aligning with divine timing is the posture of wealth. Imagine your life as a symphony. If the trumpet enters too early, the harmony collapses. If the drumbeat arrives too late, the rhythm shatters. But when every note surrenders to the conductor's baton, the music becomes perfect. Your life is that divine orchestra, and timing is its conductor. Perhaps you are watching this now with a heart heavy from waiting. Perhaps you are asking, why has my provision not come? Why do I still struggle? Beloved soul, it is not punishment, it is placement. You are not being denied, you are being aligned. What you call delay is the hand of God arranging your blessing to arrive at the moment when you will not only receive it but keep it, multiply it, and honor it. Let us transform your inner dialogue now. Instead of saying, "It is taking too long," say, "It is preparing me." Instead of whispering, "I cannot wait," declare, "I am ready at the perfect time." Feel the shift. Feel how those words remove the weight of urgency and replace it with the wings of faith. Here is a practice for you. Each morning, before your day begins, visualize yourself walking in that divine hallway. See the closed doors, and do not touch them. Simply walk with trust. See how, as you reach the exact place destined for you, a door opens effortlessly. Behind it, there is provision, unexpected checks, new opportunities, divine connections, creative ideas, and all of it appears without strain, because you were in rhythm with divine timing. And as you hold this vision, pray this prayer with me. Divine Spirit, align my steps with your perfect order. Remove from me the urge to rush and the fear of delay. Teach me to walk in harmony with the heavenly clock, knowing that every provision, every opportunity, every dollar arrives in my life right on time. Breathe that in. Release the tension in your chest. Feel the truth of this law saturating your being. There is no late in the universe. There is no early, only perfect, only now. The doors you need will not open 1 second before you are prepared, nor 1 second after. This is why you can rest. This is why you can release the frantic grip of worry, because you are not the keeper of time. God is, and God is never late. So walk with calm assurance. Smile when others panic. Rest when others scramble. Know this: your money, your opportunity, your wealth is already marked on the divine calendar, and it will arrive at the precise moment your spirit is ready to embrace it. And as you accept this law, something changes inside of you. The grip of fear loosens, the breath of trust expands your chest. You begin to live with the rhythm of eternity pulsing in your steps, and you discover the sacred secret. Divine timing is not just about money arriving on schedule. It is about you becoming aligned with the schedule of heaven itself. And now, with this law etched into your soul, you are ready to move forward, because every law we are unfolding is stacking together, forming the pillars that will dismantle poverty's hold and build your foundation of lasting wealth. Law for the law of non-resistance. There is a quiet law that governs wealth, and it is often the one most overlooked. It is the law of non-resistance. Where there is resistance, there is struggle. Where there is release, there is flow. Think for a moment about the times you have argued with your reality. Perhaps it was a debt staring back at you, a bill you feared you could not pay, or an opportunity you thought came too late. In those moments, your inner voice may have fought against life itself. You said, "Why is this happening to me?" You pushed, you resisted, you tightened your chest and clenched your jaw. Yet all the while, the wealth you longed for was waiting to flow the moment you stopped struggling. Resistance is like pressing your hand against a locked door and demanding it open. Non-resistance is stepping back, realizing the door is not yours to force, and noticing that a window has quietly been unlocked for you. Florence Scovel Shinn said that what you resist will persist, and what you bless will dissolve. This is no small truth. It is the very difference between staying poor in spirit and rising rich in peace. Picture a river. Its natural state is to move, to flow, to carry freshness and life wherever it goes. But if rocks of resentment, anger, or fear are piled into its stream, the current is blocked. The water churns against the barrier, unable to move forward. That is what resistance does to your wealth. It creates inner rocks, resentments against money, fears of debt, guilt about receiving, and those stones keep your supply from flowing freely. But what happens when you begin to remove the rocks? When you lift resentment, when you set down anger, when you surrender fear, the water does not hesitate. It rushes forward, clear and unstoppable, carrying abundance with it. Your soul was designed to flow like that river, not to stagnate in a pool of resistance. I invite you into a sacred practice now. Take a journal and write down the money resentments you carry. Perhaps it is a person who owes you and never paid. Perhaps it is a debt that feels like a chain around your ankle. Perhaps it is anger at yourself for mistakes you once made with money. Do not hide them. Place them on the page so they are no longer hidden within you. Then, write these words over each one. I release this into divine order. It is handled. Let your soul exhale as you place the burden back into the hands of spirit. Notice what happens in your body as you release. Feel the shoulders that once carried invisible weight begin to relax. Feel the breath deepen, no longer shallow and tight. Resistance clenches the body like a fist. but release opens the hand. Ready to receive, poverty consciousness tightens, wealth consciousness surrenders. The difference is not outside you, it begins within your own nervous system, your own cells, your own breath. Say softly now, I let go, and I let wealth flow. Again, slower this time, I let go, and I let wealth flow. This is not mere poetry. This is a spiritual command. Every word you speak reshapes the patterns of your subconscious. Every release you practice carves a new channel for prosperity to move through. Non-resistance is not weakness. It is strength refined. Anyone can argue with life. Anyone can tighten against the current. But the one who trusts, who releases, who steps aside, is the one who walks with power, for they are no longer fighting the current, they are moving with it. Wealth does not come through grasping, it comes through aligning. There is a whisper of release that calls to your spirit even now. It says, stop fighting, stop forcing, place it down. The silent gate of destiny does not open through pounding. It opens when you stand before it with trust, empty-handed, and willing to be guided. The soul's compass points forward, not backward into old battles you cannot win. Close your eyes for a moment. Imagine standing beside a stream. You see the rocks that have blocked its path, resentment, guilt, frustration. One by one, you lift them. With each stone released, the water begins to move again, faster, brighter, stronger, until finally the stream breaks free, carrying light, wealth, and renewal into your life. This is the law in motion. Let us seal this moment with a short prayer. Spirit, I release my resistance. I release my struggle. I place all debts, all fears, all resentments into your perfect order. I let go, and I let wealth flow, and so it is. As you open your eyes, notice how different you feel. Something has shifted. A channel has opened. The current is moving. This is not imagination. It is the energy of divine supply responding to your release. Remember this, arguing with what is only cements it deeper, but surrendering, it clears the path for miracles. You do not need to carry every burden. You do not need to fix it all alone. Your release is the invitation for Spirit to intervene. And as you walk forward, know this truth. Every law is building upon the last. Every surrender creates space for a greater inflow. Each resistance you lay down is another stone removed from your river. You are being prepared. You are being aligned. The wealth that belongs to you is closer than you think, and it cannot be stopped. Law 5, the law of vision. Before any coin finds its way into your hands, it has already passed through the gate of your inner sight. Wealth is not first material, it is first spiritual. It is born as a picture, held in the secret chambers of your imagination. Florence Scovel Shinn taught that you cannot attract what you cannot see. Your world mirrors the images you project, and your mind is the projector. If you close your eyes right now and search within, what movie is playing on the screen of your soul? For many, it is a film of fear, the story of unpaid bills, of rising debts, of doors that never seem to open. This film is dim, grainy, heavy with the weight of lack, yet it runs on repeat, and life, obedient to your inner direction, projects it onto the stage of experience. But the law of vision offers you a new role. You are not a victim of the movie, you are its writer, its director, its producer. The film changes the moment you choose to change the reel. Poverty is not destiny. It is simply a projection of yesterday's belief. Wealth is not withheld. It waits patiently for you to play the right picture. Imagine this, your mind as a radiant projector, glowing with golden light. Every thought is a frame, every belief a scene. If you thread the film of abundance through your imagination, the screen of life cannot help but reflect prosperity. If you thread the film of lack, the same law works against you. The projector does not discriminate, it only magnifies what you give it. This is why your vision matters more than circumstances. Circumstances are shadows, vision is substance. Circumstances pass, vision endures, and when vision is held long enough, fiercely enough, joyfully enough, circumstances bend to match it. So let us practice. Close your eyes gently and breathe. See yourself walking into your home, the atmosphere warm and secure. Picture yourself at a desk, bills spread before you. But notice the energy is different. There is no panic in your chest, no tightness in your throat. You write the checks with ease. You press send with peace. Money flows out, and you know with certainty that more is flowing in. Now picture yourself giving, not from fear, but from overflow. See your hands placing money into another's palm, not as a sacrifice, but as joy. Watch their eyes brighten, their burdens lift. Feel the expansion in your own chest as you become a channel of blessing. Finally, see yourself free, free from financial dread, free from survival mode thinking, free to dream, to create, to live in alignment with your soul's compass. Let the tears come, if they wish. Those tears are sacred water, dissolving the old images of lack and baptizing you into a new vision. Say with me now, I see myself wealthy, therefore wealth must appear. Speak it again, slower, with full belief. I see myself wealthy, therefore wealth must appear. This is not imagination for comfort. This is imagination as law. Whatever you vividly and persistently see, life must develop. Do not underestimate the power of this practice. Every great fortune first lived in the unseen. Every invention, every work of art, every empire was first born as a picture in the mind. The same law that built bridges and discovered light also governs your financial reality. So I ask you, what images are you projecting daily? When you lie in bed at night, do you replay the scenes of fear, or do you cast a vision of freedom? When you wake in the morning, do you picture struggle, or do you see yourself rising with dignity, clothed in divine provision? The law of vision responds not to what you desire casually, but to what you see consistently. If you hold the picture of lack, even unconsciously, it will become flesh. If you hold the picture of wealth, steadfast and luminous, it will crystallize into form. The choice is yours. Take a journal and draw the movie of your new life. Write in detail, describe the home, the freedom, the giving, the peace. Let your words become brushstrokes painting the masterpiece of your destiny. When doubt whispers, return to your vision. When fear knocks, project your film again. You are the guardian of the real, and life will only show what you allow to play. Now, let us seal this truth with a simple prayer. Divine Source, open the eyes of my spirit. Let me see abundance with clarity, and hold it with faith until it shapes my reality. May my vision be steady, my imagination holy, and my projection pure. I let the golden film of prosperity shine upon the screen of my life. Amen. Keep this vision alive. Let it not be a passing daydream, but a living flame that burns in your heart. Every time you see yourself in wealth, you are laying bricks in the unseen. Every affirmation, every visualization, every sacred rehearsal is building the stage where your abundance will stand. So when the shadows of circumstance attempt to distract you, remember the projector, remember the law, remember the prayer. Then choose again to see yourself as wealth itself. And as you step into this vision, know that the next law will reveal how your spoken words anchor what you see into the material. For vision is the seed, but words are the water that cause it to grow. Law 6, the law of circulation. There is a secret rhythm to wealth that most people overlook. Money, like breath, like the tides, like the beat of your heart, is not meant to be held in stillness. It is meant to move, to flow, to circulate. The soul that clutches, hoards, and fears is the soul that blocks the very stream it prays for. Imagine blood in your body. If it stops flowing, life is threatened. The same law governs money. It must circulate to bring vitality to your life. Florence Scovel Shinn taught that when you release with trust, the universe has no choice but to return to you, multiply. Yet so many live in the shadow of fear, whispering to themselves, if I let this go, I may never have enough. That thought is the root of poverty. That fear is the closed fist that cannot receive. The hand that clings cannot be filled. The heart that fears cannot be lifted. Wealth is not stored in the vault of your bank. Wealth is stored in the vault of your consciousness. If your inner dialogue is laced with fear, your reality will mirror that contraction. If your inner dialogue is laced with trust, your reality will mirror that expansion. Money is energy. Energy must move. It must dance. It must bless. And when it does, it returns in new forms, greater measures, and unexpected channels. Picture a fountain. Water flows upward, spills outward, and replenishes itself. That is the law of circulation. The fountain never fears running dry, because its source is invisible and unending. Your life is that fountain when you live in trust, when you give, bless, share, and release. You place yourself in the rhythm of divine supply. The poverty mindset believes that every coin spent is a loss. The wealth mindset knows that every coin spent in faith is a seed. Seeds must be planted, not hoarded in a bag. When planted, they grow into trees that bear fruit in every season. Look at your own life. Have there been moments when you gave freely time, kindness, money, and almost mysteriously, something greater returned? That is the law of circulation at work. I invite you now into a moment of remembrance. Close your eyes and bring to mind a time when you released something with love. Perhaps you gave to a friend in need. Perhaps you donated to someone unseen. Perhaps you smiled, encouraged, or blessed. Notice what followed. Notice how the universe curved back to meet you with increase. That memory is not a coincidence. It is a law. The poverty-stricken spirit whispers, hold, guard, keep, or you will lose. The wealthy spirit proclaims, release, trust, give, and you will multiply. Which voice will you follow? Which law will govern your destiny? Here is a sacred practice for you today. Take something, a coin, a note, a meal, a gift, and release it with intention. As you do, speak these words aloud. As I circulate, wealth multiplies in my life. Feel the vibration of that declaration. You are not losing. You are multiplying. You are not subtracting. You are opening the doors of increase. Circulation is not limited to money. Circulation is kindness. Circulation is forgiveness. Circulation is gratitude. Every time you give, you activate a cycle that must return. A blessing sent into the universe is a blessing magnetized back to you. This is divine law. There is no stagnation in the kingdom of God. Stagnation is the illusion of fear. Flow is the reality of truth. The river of supply runs unending, but only to the one who trusts the current. Can you trust that as you give, you will receive? Can you trust that as you release, you will rise? Imagine golden coins flowing like water through a fountain. Imagine them shining, glimmering, replenishing endlessly. See them moving freely through your hands, blessing those around you, returning to you multiplied, never diminished. This is the true picture of wealth. Not the clutching of coins, but the flowing of abundance. Say now within your heart, I release with love, and I receive with joy. I circulate with trust, and I multiply with grace. Let those words settle into your spirit. Let them echo through the chambers of your mind. This is the law of circulation, writing itself into your being. If fear whispers to you, do not resist. Simply substitute it with truth. If the thought comes, I will lose if I give, replace it with, as I give, I expand. If the thought says, I must cling to be safe, replace it with, I release to be free. This is the law of substitution guiding your mind into higher truth. Remember, circulation is the pulse of wealth. When you stop its flow, you suffocate your supply. When you allow its rhythm, you harmonize with divine increase. The choice is before you every day, to clutch in fear or to release in trust. One closes the gate, the other opens the fountain. Let your soul choose freedom. Let your heart choose trust. Let your hands become channels, not cages. Wealth is not about how much you can keep. Wealth is about how much you can flow. The divine orchestra is already playing its song of circulation. All you must do is join the rhythm. As you step into this rhythm, prepare yourself, because the law of circulation always leads to the law of increase. What you send out is already on its way back, multiplied and magnified. Law 7, the law of faith. Faith is not hoping. Faith is not wishing. Faith is knowing. Knowing with such certainty that the unseen becomes more real to you than the evidence of your eyes. Faith is the invisible root that holds up the great tree of wealth. Without this root, every branch withers. Without this anchor, no fruit can ripen. You may learn every law of circulation, every law of release, every law of right speech, but if faith is absent, the soil of wealth remains barren. Faith is the soul's compass pointing to divine supply. It is the unseen foundation that holds up the temple of your destiny. When Florence Scovel Shinn declared, fear is inverted faith, she revealed the truth. You are always exercising faith, either in the disaster you imagine or in the blessing that is already yours. The question is not, do you have faith? The question is, where have you placed it? When fear grips you, you are already practicing faith in lack, in loss, in limitation. But when you shift, when you stand in the silent gate of destiny and whisper, all things are mine, in divine order, your faith becomes a bridge for heaven's storehouse to open. Poverty shrinks under this light. Doubt dissolves like mist in the sun. Hear this truth, faith is substance, not shadow, not theory. It is the living current that calls form out of the invisible. It is the hand that draws tomorrow into today. When you stand in faith, you are not begging for wealth. You are commanding the divine orchestra of creation to play in your favor. Pause for a moment. Place your hand upon your heart. Feel its steady rhythm. That beat is the sound of life itself, unshaken, unbothered, faithful to you without pause. You do not question whether the next heartbeat will come. It simply does. This is faith. quiet, unwavering, constant. And this same trust must be carried into your wealth, into your business, into your future. Now close your eyes if you are able. Imagine a seed beneath the soil. It is small, hidden, unseen, yet within it rests the pattern of a mighty tree. The seed does not question whether it will break open. It does not hope it knows. By divine law, it must become what it already carries. So it surrenders to the dark soil, trusts the unseen sun, and bursts into life. This is what your wealth requires of you. To root yourself not in fear, but in faith. Say within yourself now, by faith, I know money flows to me now, in divine order, not tomorrow, not someday, now. And divine order means it arrives in ways higher, better, and more aligned than your limited plans could imagine. Perhaps you have stood before bills, empty accounts, and pressing needs. Perhaps you have cried, how can this be changed? The answer is always the same, by faith. Faith does not deny the storm, it speaks to it. Faith does not beg for calm, it declares peace and sees it established. Faith is your inner authority. It is the key that unlocks all the other laws. The law of faith tells you this. You must see before you see. You must claim before you hold. You must give thanks before it appears. This is not delusion, it is creation. The world itself was spoken into being by this law. Let there be light, was faith speaking, and light obeyed. In the same way, when you declare, let there be wealth in my life, faith commands substance to appear. Let your inner dialogue be healed. No more saying, I hope things work out. Hope leaves the door open for failure. Say instead, I know all things are working out in divine perfection. Do not say, maybe I will prosper. Say, I prosper by divine right, and no man, no condition, no force can keep me from it. Words spoken in faith are seeds that cannot die. Remember a time when you believed deeply in something unseen, and it came to pass. Perhaps you trusted in love, in healing, in a door opening, where none existed. That moment was not luck. It was faith bringing the unseen into form, and the same power waits to multiply your wealth, your health, your destiny. Affirm with me, I walk by faith, not by sight. My wealth is already here, unfolding in perfect rhythm. By faith I stand, by faith I receive, by faith I live in abundance. Let us pray this simple prayer together. Infinite Spirit, strengthen my faith. Let my eyes see beyond appearances. Let my heart trust beyond doubt. Let me know that wealth is mine by divine inheritance, and that nothing can stand against the law of faith at work in me. Feel the shift inside you now. The desperation loosens. The heaviness lifts. Assurance rises like the dawn. For faith is not noise, it is power. It does not shout, it commands. It does not beg, it knows. And when you know, creation bends to meet you. Visualize once more that seed, breaking open underground. See its roots stretched deep, unseen. See its stem pierce the soil, reaching upward. See the mighty tree standing tall, branches wide, fruit abundant. That tree is your wealth. The seed was your faith, and the fruit is inevitable. Walk now in this knowing. Speak only as one who believes. Move only as one who trusts. Act only as one who already has. This is the law of faith, the crown law, the root law, the law that makes all others alive. And as you rise in this assurance, you will discover that the next law awaiting you is not about struggle or striving, but about alignment. For once faith roots you, destiny begins to flow with ease.